What do you make of, we immediately after the, Trump, obliterated the Iranian nuclear reactors. They said, oh, yeah, we're going to be talking. We expect to reopen negotiations with Iran next week or the week after, and there's going to be progress on the Abraham Accord. We've seen nothing on either front. Is your view that none of that's going to happen?
Uh, Something else is going to happen, I think. And what is going to happen, and I think it's very important. We're talking today, Monday. I think tomorrow, Tuesday, the European three have promised that they're going to start the process, launch the process for snapback of sanctions on the ground of that IEA resolution that Iran is in breach of the JCPOA. That means that all the sanctions under JCPOA have to be reinstated, and it's mandatory for every United Nations state to do so. And the Iranians said pretty clearly, don't do that. It's a big mistake. And if you try and force us to have the IEA back, and you know the story of what the IEA have done then, most Iranians, what they tell me, and I believe it, is they said that the Iranians come back, the IEA come back to Iran, they'll be killed. I mean, they hate them because they believe they were right or wrongly. The Iranians say they have the full evidence that the IEA were precisely identifying the sort of the scientists to pass on to Israel, to Mossad. Now, I don't know whether that's true. I can't tell you, but I do know that the IEA used to insist that they needed to have talks and to have interviews with the Iranian scientists to ask them about the state of the program. What happened to that information? I can't tell you, but most Iranians would tell you that they believe that the IEA both set up, remember the resolution on the 12th of June, which declared for the first time in years, and which the Russians have condemned utterly, Chinese too, that it was in breach of the JCPOA. Then they attacked in the 30s. And the West is now saying, well, the IEA must come back. They have to, monitor where everything is. And these are just regarded as the Western spies. And so they're not going to be allowed back. So I think what will soon happen, if the European countries do and are successful in launching snapback, and the West goes on to insist on the IEA going back to Iran, they'll leave the MPT. It's clear. They'll leave the MPT. And so at that point, then there will be all sorts of cries from Israel and from parts of the United States and parts of Europe using, oh, we can't have that. We need another attack on Iran. We have to make sure that this is completely settled. We have to finish the job in Iran. Maybe some of that enriched uranium, wasn't destroyed. We don't know where it is. We can't live with this, not knowing where it is, if it was destroyed or not. We must have the inspection.
Right.
And if they push that, they'll probably leave the MPT, and then there will be pressure for more military action against Iran, particularly as what I said to you about Iranians and their sort of, if you like, their fervor, the passion that is, especially present amongst Shia, either in Hezbollah or in Iran, whichever, if you like, or anywhere else in Iraq, which does, if you like, it frightens Israel too. That's what they want, if you like. And they feel the only way to do that is by regime change. And Abiy or someone of Western state being put in to Tehran to run the government. That's the only way they can feel they can guarantee that Iran will never move towards a weapons process.
But,
That's underlying story.
Well, they're in a different strategic position now than they were compared to 10 years ago, when the JCPOA was signed and they envisioned the snapback provisions, because at that point Iran was pretty effectively isolated because even Russia and China signed on to it in 2015. But today, I think with Iran's position in BRICS and the growing animus within Russia and China against the West for what they see as this unrelenting attack on them, I think Iran's in a much better position now to weather the snapback than it was 10 years ago. Do you share that assessment or not?
Completely. But I mean, the first point is that, I mean, Iran is going to emerge as a much stronger state in the region. I mean, they demonstrate their strength. And, they've demonstrated, the cohesion in their society. I mean, a very strong cohesion. It is going to be the most powerful state in the Middle East. Perhaps Turkey will challenge it, but, Iran is going to be a very powerful player. But I think, again, what I'm saying is that ultimately, Trump and his teams were misreading of the plan for China in Russia and Iran, which is visible to the whole world now, as they see it. And they see it playing out now in tariffs. And they see that these things make no sense. Brazil, whatever it's done, is that a tariff or a sanction? Or doesn't it matter anymore? These things are having a big impact. For example, South Korea, Japan, they didn't go to the NATO.
Right.
And these are two of the most important allies of the United States. I mean, there is a feeling that everything is a drift, that the West is there not only erratic, but dangerously untethered and striking out and lashing out without any sort of consideration. So this is why I call it the crossover movement. It's the crossover because they see this as a West that is, it's like its power is slowly, not immediately, but it is clearly diminishing. And the very process of this erratic inability to read the ground, inability to do any serious, if you like, thinking about how to achieve a relationship with China or Russia or Iran. All of this persuades people, and it accelerates the strength of Russia, China, and Iran acting as a cohesive unit. It is a cohesive unit. It doesn't mean they're an absolute alliance, but they're a